is Mike Horsfield. I'm the Vice President of Business Development at Jones, focused particularly on the contract packaging organization based in Brampton, Ontario. My background is a decade plus in contract manufacturing of consumer healthcare products, and most recently, almost 2 years experience in contract packaging in the prescription drug and consumer healthcare space. Packaging in the consumer healthcare space is actually driven by consumer preference. There are some very strong trends in the marketplace right now. There is a cost of living crunch. People are increasingly turning to buying only what they need. And there are certainly in the US market, there is an incredible trend towards non-traditional retail channels and people buying products in very small quantities. This is a turnaround from the position 10 years ago when everybody was buying products in very large bulk packs. Jones is working with some of the major players in the industry. We're providing them with innovative new solutions. We're bringing products to market much faster than was the case 5 to 10 years ago. We're working on solutions, particularly for the retail industry, be it putting solid dose and liquid products into pouches, to convenience vials, into small pack formats. We're also increasingly looking at packaging formats which include merchandising to improve the in-store impact. At Jones, there is a year-on-year investment program. It goes back 5 to 6 years when there were improvements made to the existing equipment to increase the output and the efficiency. Since then, we have put in brand new lines, both in the bottle format and in the blister format. Those lines are also targeting the prescription drug market and have inline serialization. This year, we will invest in yet another bottle line, and we are continually investing in our pouching capability. Quality, agility, those are the things that we just have embedded in our company. The turnaround time from a customer inquiry to expecting a detailed solution in the current economy is days, not weeks. We're able to get our partners' proposals incredibly quickly. We work with them to fast track the process of taking a product from concept to commercialization. It is a crowded market, but each company who's involved in this sector has a particular niche. Jones is absolutely unique in having as part of its wider group a print facility, which is a leading supplier of cartons and labels. Wherever possible, we work with our sister company. This absolutely streamlines our processes. It makes the relationship with our clients far simpler. From their perspective, we're a one-stop shop. And I think it gets us the advantage. We can get to market incredibly fast. Innovation really comes from the design of the packaging. In Canada, that is driven by the requirements for plain language labeling. A tremendous amount of focus in the last decade to ensure that not only are we coming up with solutions that meet the requirements for both English and French, but that we are carrying all of the correct drug facts. Serialization has been a mainstream requirement of the prescription drug market in the United States for many years. It is increasingly important in Canada, not because it has become a regulatory requirement yet, but because the main pharmacy chains, the retail pharmacy chains, do insist on having a product with serialization in the Canadian market because they use that information to manage and ship their inventory. It will, in time, become a requirement for every prescription drug in Canada and possibly in the future in the consumer healthcare space as well. What it does give is consumers absolute confidence that the product that they're buying is genuine. There are counterfeit products out there, particularly available through online sources, and it facilitates the traceability of every single product right from the bulk manufacturing through to the point of sale. Right now in the North American market, there's a resurgence of interest in sustainability. We find that our partners in the consumer healthcare space are increasingly taking notice and logging and accurately reporting the proportion of materials that are recyclable and also the percentage of material and weight that actually ends up into landfill. There's strong preference wherever possible to use a sustainable packaging solution. What we're not seeing in North America in the current economy is a decision to use a sustainable material which actually adds cost to the product. However, we are now seeing new materials coming on market that are actually offering sustainability at an acceptable cost. Canadian manufacturing has always offered actually a very safe haven for US providers. A lot of the contract manufacturers, contract packaging businesses in Canada will actually ship 80% of their sales into the US market. Our customers in the US know that we have access to labor. We have a good supply of highly trained individuals. The cost of labor in Canada can be lower than in the United States market, but at the same time, there is the confidence of knowing that all of the facilities in Canada are both FDA approved, inspected, and also approved and inspected by Health Canada, which to some degree is an even higher hurdle to get over. One of the great things about Jones is that the businesses are located in London, Ontario for the cartons and labels, and Brampton for the contract packaging. The Brampton operation is a 2-hour drive across to the bridge into the US, into Buffalo. Similarly, from London, Ontario, you can be in Detroit in 2.5 to 3 hours. Importantly, when you look at a location of a business down in Southern Ontario and you look at a 500-mile reach, that takes us right up to the Canadian pharmaceutical hub in Montreal, but it also encompasses all of the major pharmaceutical centers in the US, in New Jersey, New York, right down into Michigan and Philadelphia. So we're very, very conveniently located for the North American pharmaceutical industry, both in the US and in Canada.